Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Heat, directed on Prime FM 105.5. This program is also being relayed by Radio Gegema, that is in Nimba County, Radio Kwatika in Bon County, and of course, Radio Wulagisi in Lofa County. We are streaming live tonight, as usual, on Prime FM Morovia 105.5. Again, Prime FM Morovia 105.5. We are streaming live. We are also streaming live on our Facebook page. That is the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. And also our YouTube channel. We are streaming live on our YouTube channel. That's the Facebook page. That's the Nighttime Heat YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat on where they have the search. And of course, you're going to follow the show and also enjoy the show. We want you to also share the show tonight. It promises to be very, very interesting. Share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight. Let me welcome my panelists. So one of my panelists, in fact, George Kennedy, and then I can tell you exactly what will be coming up. I'm sure you might have seen the flyer, right? Josh, how you doing?
Well, I'm fine. We can't complain. The good old Lord is keeping us moving. I want to say good evening to you and to everyone, to our technicians, our listeners. I want to say thank you, and you are welcome to the show.
Okay, George. Thank you for coming. And I'm sure just seeing Edwin family also walking in. Our legal mind we have on the program. The man is in law school, my man. So every day the man is tired from man. He's regalia as a lawyer. Welcome, Fambula. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Slavo. And good evening to our listening public, to my big brother, George Kennedy. I want to say good evening again. Nice to meet you. But this is our official attire.
I know.
Good for me. I'm doing my final courses now. Okay. And one is with the Chief Justice.
Okay.
So every Wednesday.
What is he teaching you?
There's a course called Practice Court. So I'm doing the part 2. I did part 1 last semester. So I'm doing the part 2 now. Hopefully by February, I should be an attorney at law.
Oh, that's good. We got a party to storm on there.
Congratulatory treat.
Yeah, sure.
Mayo, I'm going to go there too. I'm jealous. I got to go to that law school.
Oh, you want to tell the law school?
Yeah.
I know now. If everybody goes to the school, I know who.
No, it's good. You see, lawyering is almost like medicine, right? And these are some of the few professions that you don't retire from until you die.
Okay.
You know, divinity is one, lawyering, and medicine.
Okay.
And in fact, the older you get into the field, the more experienced you become. Okay. Councillor James A.P. just celebrated his 80th birthday just last week, Saturday.
Okay.
He's still going to his law firm every morning, you know?
Yes, we live in the same community.
Yeah.
Right?
So the more you age, in fact, the more you get knowledgeable and experienced, because the law is practice. So whatever we're doing now in the classroom is just the foundation. The rest of your life, you spend it in a courtroom practicing.
Okay. All right. That's good. Well, gentlemen, let me ask each of you basically what you have. But let me announce first. Listeners at 8:15 will have in studio or will have online. You'll be joining us by link. The chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change. That's the CDC chairman. He's Anthony at law. I know. He's chairman. What is his name again? Janga Cole. You know, he just slipped my mind. Chairman Janga Cole will be joining us. That is at 8:15. I want to talk about the CDC. Couple of things we'll be talking about the CDC. You know, for the past months, CDC has been forfeiting some key people have been defecting from the CDC. What is it troubling to them? The issue of their case against individuals who went to the headquarters and took some items from that. From there, they went to court. We'll be talking about that also. Why does the CDC think they want to come back to power. We'll talk about that as soon as Jangako join us. That is at 8:15 tonight. We'll talk until 9:15, and then the panelists will have their own discussion, their own topics to deal with tonight. And part of our topic would include what are the complexities around the country's road construction project, especially using the Parvey Fort Al Associates. We saw a video, and of course we'll be playing a video where the acting minister was trying to make the case yesterday at the Senate, but his explanation was somehow confusing to the lawmakers. We understand the Parvey Fort Al Associates indicate that until it can claim its debts or receive money owes it by Sierra Leone and Gambia, and then they will have the opportunity or the capacity to do laborious roads. If that's the case, doesn't mean that we're going to do self-pay project. We'll have the acting minister also to join us. We're hoping that he can join us for a few minutes. Acting Minister Myers, he'll be joining us at 9:15. And then also my panelists and I will be talking about, President Boyka is currently in the UAE. He left Paris, France. What's coming out of those meetings? Is it just bilateral, trying to bolster his relationship with those countries? Or what is it that coming out? Because we didn't hear about signing any sort of communicate or document that compel or Paris of France to do something for Liberia. We didn't hear about something of that nature. So we'll be talking about what's coming out of the dividends coming out of there. What are the dividends coming out of Paris and also with the UAE? And then also, the president made some nominations yesterday. We'll be looking at those names. There are some new faces that have come into government. We'll be looking at those names, their abilities to perform, and all of that. And then, before then, we'll look at the second time extension of the submission of the fiscal year budget. This kind of first time. I can remember the first time again we submitted, the executive was to submit the budget to the national legislature. Again, ask for time. What's happening? What sort of messages or what message is that sending forth to our people? Well, that's the shape of the program today. But gentlemen, before the CDC chair can join us, what went running on your mind apart from these documents, these discussion points? Let's hear from you.
Yeah, well, so far I think it's a human interest story from both other side. Well, I heard bees attack the LDA officers when they tried to check a vehicle, a truck that was alleged to have had some cachet of drugs in it. So that story was, I thought that, it was an interesting one. So maybe people going traditional and try to protect their illicit trade. So it's interesting. So really, that's one of the main things that really caught my eyes between Monday to today.
Well, so for me, I tentatively listened today to the confirmation hearing of the nominee designated for the position of President CEO of NOCAL. A very fine young gentleman. I listened to him as someone who's schooled in that field. I listened to him, and some of this, the way he engaged those questions today was actually brilliant to me. It shows his understanding of the sector, and I am very sure that he's going to do well to be able to move that place forward. The only challenging part that I saw today on the part of our senators is that they were not actually looking at the issue of NOCAL, how NOCAL is going to move forward. What are those mitigating measures? Because NOCAL been to a point before where it went to totally collapse. So they were not looking at those areas. They were actually trying to bring the whole Oronto deal into the confirmation hearing. And he was not there to answer for Oronto. He was there as the president CEO of NOCAL. when the Oronto concession gets before them, then now they have the opportunity to be able to ask, the folks who actually are representing Oronto. But I just want to say the young man, because he and I worked together at NOCA before, he actually showed that he understands the sector and he has a very good program now. In fact, some of the things that he said, trying to diversify, because before NOCA was only depending on what the oil companies were giving in terms of surface rental, in terms of seismic data fees. But now he's trying to look at it that, look, whatever windfall profit we have, we take that money and invest into other areas so that even if the oil companies lose its interest, NOCA will still keep at float until we can, move into maybe in the future of making significant discovery. I thought that was very brilliant of him today.
Okay, so very shortly, I'm sure the chairman of the CDC will join us shortly. It's at 8:15. But I think what has been on my mind, apart from these discussions, has to do with the holding a pooling between Representative Musa Hassan Bility and the Ministry of Public Works. I don't know on what ground that the Ministry of Public Works has stopped, in another word, Hassan Bility from carrying out the construction of the bridge. Of the bridge, for the people of Bon County.
Yes.
I understand that Hassan Representative Bility submitted all the necessary technical documents. You were asked to do so. I thought if the Ministry of Public Works had that in the back of their mind, that project was enlisted as part of the project that they will be undertaking this drought season. I thought they should have allowed him to present those technical documents. They should have just told him, Mr. Bility, we don't think you should do that project because it's part of the government project that's been earmarked. But to allow him to submit all his technical, his paper, his design as well, and then at the end of the day, you tell them it has political undertone, and I don't think it's good for our country. We have to stop all of this. If somebody said, "Oh, I want to be president," that shouldn't make you to go against him. Whatever the project the man is trying to carry out or trying to undertake, allow him to do so. That's not going to allow, or that's not going to make him to win election, especially where you are the government sitting. You have for the capacity, the monitoring ability to do what you can and to get to election. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm trying. And when you do it like this, people who calculate well if they think that you're trying to divide the country, they think that you're trying to perpetuate that sort of that culture of division, which is not good for our country. And I'm hoping that the Ministry of Public Works can see reason, call Hassan to the Musa Bility to the table, and in fact, the money that the government said it has to do that project, you can divert it to other projects. And you could have moved to other places. But when you stop Hassan, Musa Hassan Bility, you're trying to give different picture and you're trying to give different message to our people that you don't want opposition figures to do anything for that people, and which is wrong. And I heard Marvin Cole, Representative Marvin Cole, trying to rally his people of Bon County, and that educating them that the government is against that project being done. In fact, he said he went to the Ministry of Public Works and he didn't see anything on the book. There's no allocation, in the budget for that project. And now Hassan to do his project. So it doesn't create the impression that government is trying to stifle people or government trying to suppress people. No, this country belongs to all of us. Let's stop doing what we're doing. It belongs to all of us. If we came to power as a government, allow others to do what they think they can do for their people. You are the government, you are the government sitting. You are the government in waiting. You are government sitting. You are bigger than Musa Hassan Bility. Not just a representative. If he has ambition, let him have his ambition. But it shouldn't appear like you're trying to stop him from doing a project that he wants to do for his people. So that's the indication.
So Mr. George.
Yeah, go ahead. I know you're here for
when Honorable Hassan Bility was building the bridge in his district, did anybody stop him? The answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. political parties, that's not the job of political parties to do this. If you look at the function of political parties.
No, I differ with
So,
you. No.
excuse
No.
me.
I differ with you.
Just tell me where is the political parties
But
doing
what
that?
is wrong with that?
No, just tell me what.
So,
can you tell me? Can you give me the common practice?
Don't look. You see, look. Not
Do
because.
you know why they don't politicize? They don't want to politicize the infrastructure.
George,
Governments around the world don't politicize the infrastructure.
This is totally unacceptable. If a politician or a politician comes out and say, "Look, I want to build some water substation in my community for the people," what is wrong with that?
So you see,
why do you want to start the man?
Wait. You ask
What is wrong with that?
You ask a very good
What is
question.
wrong with that? Tell me.
Nothing wrong. But
Okay.
guess what?
Uh-huh.
There is a standard
We stand
set up in
But
the
they
state.
made this. Listen, no.
Give me
They-
the chair, let me learn now.
The man submitted his design.
And so,
He submitted his design.
And so-
he submitted all the technical people.
Okay.
The only thing in fact, that's the reason why I said the Ministry of Public Works shouldn't have allowed the man to submit all his technical papers. No, he shouldn't have allowed. They should have said from the initial stage, "Go, look, Musa, we do have some money in the budget for this project, and we'll not allow anybody to do the project because there's money already sitting."
so guess what?
That would have been understood.
I ask you a question and you answer. In our Bilite's district,
Please check
he
your-
decided to construct a bridge there. Did anybody stop him?
No, but
The answer is no. Now, what is happening is you don't know, probably me, I don't know the whole detail. I'm just speaking from my own opinion, right? Okay, you left your district, you're going across the country to another county to go do this. So the people say, bring your plane.
what
They had to meet the standard the people want.
Well, for me, Brother Kennedy, I have a different view to that. And like like the Slobo said, right? Let's start giving people unnecessary credence,
Thank you.
irrespective of who the persons are. If Musa Bilite wants to build all the bridges in Liberia, if you have the money, allow him to build it.
That's it.
Once it meets the standard, because at the end of
That's
the
a standard
day,
issue we're discussing.
I'm coming up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is the Liberian people that are going to benefit. Now, what you have done, because when this working started, we also follow. The Ministry of Public Works will not allow you until we can review the standard. And then also we'll have our engineer to go and assess it. Now, what Slobo is saying, you should have said to Mr. Bilite that, look, this project that you want to do, the government already have it earmarked to be done so and so time. So therefore, you cannot do this project. Can you move your project to another maybe location, maybe somewhere in your district or so? He would have said no, but you told him, say, present all of your drawing, all of your design. He did that.
Yeah.
And then after that, you come back and say, no, this project has already been earmarked. Now, what we're doing, we're making Musa Bilite out of a hero that we shouldn't be doing.
Thank you.
Because in the minds of the people of Bon County, that the government is trying to strangulate Musa Bilite because Musa Bilite wants to do a project that the people of Bon County will benefit. And if the government relent on that project, the government does not do that project, the people of that district will use that against this government.
Sure.
Do you have a
I
statement
think
from the
Musa
Ministry of Public
Bilite-
Works?
No, but
The thing is clear, man.
Brother George,
Don't come
he was the Minister of Public Works.
The statement for the you cannot support popular.
That's a reality. That's a reality.
I've actually read it.
They never read it. That's a reality.
That's it.
Document.
Yeah.
The
That's
people say that
reality.
they cannot allow him to carry on this project because the project has already been earmarked by the
By the government, which is wrong.
All right.
So now why
So
they
rather than
man?
taking or say, look, if you knew all of these things,
They shouldn't allow
why
us to
did you
submit,
tell us to, in
to
fact,
submit our design
they even went to the extent that they were going to second an engineer with them to
Thank
be able
you.
to do this project. My thing is that, look, irrespective of who he is, if Musa Bilite won't even go to Cape Bank County to go and build road,
They
let
want to
him
go
do it.
all around to build. Let me
Because let me tell you one thing. Whether we like it or not, the word that Musa Bilite have today, it was getting out of Liberia.
Thank you.
So if the Liberian people are to benefit at this time when he has a quest to become president, I know that Musa Bilite can never be president for Liberia. He can even build an airstrip here. He can turn the whole Liberia into Dubai. Musa Bilite would not be president for Liberia. Let's leave it because there are a lot of other intricacies that will come in. Religious belief, the other one will come in.
Let's leave that. But George, the thing is, but what we're
need to.
saying, George, when you continue to stop, opposition figures from carrying out projects for the people, it sends a bad signal. I don't think that's what the government wants.
Just if
That's
you
what I'm
say
saying.
when you
I mean,
continue, when was the first time?
whether the first time, whether the second time, it shouldn't be
You
just.
already said
So-
It shouldn't be
President now.
fine.
So if you
Instead of
say
people,
when
it
if
shouldn't
you
be.
continue, it means that it's happening.
That's what I'm
So,
saying. It shouldn't be one of the first time or second time. If an opposition politician has a project to do for his people, let them go
Let him
ahead.
do it.
I didn't follow
Let
this
them go
story.
ahead.
I can assure you, I'll follow this story Friday. I will lift it up.
All right.
Yeah.
We hope you can lift it up.
So Friday,
We hope you can lift. Okay, so listeners,
I think the
and,
government
and viewers kindly share the show. Wanted to share tonight. Tonight's show is promises to be very, very interesting. We'll have the chair of the Congress of Democratic Change anytime, Anthony Atlaw Jangaku will join us to talk about issues within his political institutions and issues nationwide as well. We'll be talking about issues concerning our country as well. Anytime he joins us, we'll make sure to bring him in live and we'll have the discussion. Besides, we'll also be talking about whether there's any complexities in the around Liberia's roads project. We are hearing about this private Fort Al Associates. We got the video. The acting minister of it's very bad. When you talk again, then you say you want to say something.
no, I have not read that.
Okay, fine. I think the chair, gentlemen, let's try to welcome the chair of the Congress of Democratic Change. Like I said, listeners, we'll be talking about the private Fort Al Associates concession agreement or deal that the government is trying to enter into. But we are hearing that the company doesn't have the resources to start now. It says, well, it has to first gather its a debt from Sierra Leone and Gambia before they do our roads. And besides, the monies that they are the government's going to pay the company 364 million, if I'm not mistaken, a huge amount of money, and then we supposed to benefit just less of that. Can you imagine that? So we'll be talking about that later on, right after the interview with Chairman Janga Core. Let's try to welcome the chairman quickly. Chairman, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Saba, for the invite. I'm happy to be on your platform for the first time. Thank you for the invite. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. You are very loud and clear. I have two panelists on the program. There are three, but one of the panelists is not in tonight. He's based in the U.S. He's bereaved Moses Sandy, so Moses will not be on the program. But I have Mr. George Kennedy and Mr. Edward Fambule as well. Edward is a law student. He's our legal mind on the program. Ed and George, you can also greet the chair of the CDC, please.
Well, Chairman Cole, you are welcome. This is a nighttime heat. I hope you get a fire right around you there because this heat can really burn like a real fire. So you're welcome, Chief.
Thank you very much for the invite. I look forward to an exciting show.
Well, for my part, I would say good evening to you, Council. And I want to say again, welcome as the chairman of the biggest opposition party in the country. We're glad to have you tonight on this platform.
Thank you, Edwin.
Okay, so let's listeners and viewers kind of share the show. Wanted to share tonight's show. This program is also being relayed by Radio Gegema, that is in Nima County, Radio Kwatika in Bonk, and of course, Radio Wulogisi in Lofa County. We are streaming live on our Facebook page. That's the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. And also, we are streaming live on our Nighttime Heat YouTube channel. We are also streaming live on Prawn FM, Monrovia 105.5 Facebook page. We have tonight, want to share the show. Please share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also follow the show and get to know what's happening tonight on the Nighttime Heat. We have as guest Anthony Atlaw, and also chairman of the biggest political party, like my colleague said, the Congress of Democratic Change, Janga Core. Chairman Core, again, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba.
Okay, so good. We have you for an hour. First, we want to pose to you, Chairman Core. what is want to know first? There's this issue. I know you want to respond to it. First, we heard about the defection of the deputy speaker who is at the House of Representatives, Thomas Fala. He's one man who been with the CDC, a very strong supporter of the CDC who used to be. He defected. He's currently now pushing the ideology of the ruling Unity Party. And then we also heard about Sir Joseph. In fact, he has formed his own political party. Lately, we just heard about Mr. Wissa Blamo. This is a man who served as Minister of State in the office of former President George Weah. Are those defections troubling to the former ruling CDC?
So I want to say thank you again. Well, what I can say to Liberia is a democracy, and the CDC embraces a democratic competition. So people do come and people leave the CDC. So the CDC is rebranding, is recalibrating, is repositioning. So I can tell you the CDC remains vibrant, the CDC remains robust, and as you can see, the CDC has repositioned itself. The CDC is building alliances. The CDC is in a lot of discussions with various actors, various stakeholders. We're trying to build a national broad-based coalition that will eventually deliver victory for the Liberian people come 2029. So we say we encourage, we welcome democratic competition. The CDC is a democratic party. It's a grassroots political movement. And so we do welcome democratic competition. We think people who left the CDC before, the ANC you see today came from the belly of the CDC. The CDC still went ahead win the 2017 elections. So political realignments in Liberia is not strange, but the CDC remains strategically focused on the rebranding, repositioning, reconsolidating, and building the necessary national alliance and coalition that will eventually deliver resounding victory come 2029. So that is our strategic focus now.
Yes, while it is true, it is your strategic focus. Equally so, those individuals we named, especially the two of them, Joseph and Thomas Fala, the current deputy speaker, they were once major contributors to the party. In fact, they were able to pull more members, partisans for the party. And so I know that defection is something troubling to the CDC. Is it so?
So what I can tell you, the CDC remains a very robust political party. So defections is not new in the CDC. There were a lot of defections in the CDC after the 2011 elections. The CDC went back. In fact, after defections from the CDC usually would pick up the pieces, reposition, reconsolidate, and deliver victory. We did that in 2017. From 2011, after the election in 2011, there were a lot of defections in the CDC. Those defections did, in effect, the strategic focus of the CDC. The CDC went ahead to win. So we are saying whatever deceptions are happening now are just political realignments that have very little impact on the CDC, national strategic focus. The CDC remains a robust political party. The CDC, you see, the CDC has picked up momentum just under 2 years after leaving office. The CDC is strategically rebranding in a series of talks with our various national and political stakeholders from across the broad spectrum of the Liberian body politics. So, so what I can tell you, defections are not new in the CDC, and that didn't stop the CDC.
Mr. Chair, let me.
I wouldn't want for this discussion tonight to be about these.
No, Mr. Chair, yes.
We have demonstrated the CDC saw defections in CDC won the elections in 2017. You need to check the history. There were a lot of defections. The CDC still won the example of winning coalition and deliver victory resoundingly. And we will be going to the 2029 elections with our record of service for 6 years that it seems that the current government is failing to match.
Mr. Chair, let's try to interact, please. I know you said the CDC is trying to re-strategize and rebrand, but have the CDC sat down? And many of you, have you all sat down to maybe determine reasons for the defections of key of your members? We just heard about again Kanu Bagbala, a man who was your campaign chair. He has also is now singing the song of the ruling Unity Party. Have you all decided to determine as to why all these people are leaving the CDC?
Well, like I will reiterate, and in 2017, Kanu again was not with the CDC initially. Kanu left the CDC, went to Liberty Party, and came back. And I think Kanu came back around the second round. So what we're saying, people have the right to associate and disassociate, but that historically has had little impact on the CDC, as evidenced by the fact that there were defections after the 2011 elections. The CDC went ahead to win the 2017 election with a very big margin. So those defections, we are not worried about those defections. We are going ahead in strategic conversation with various political actors, trying to build a broad-based national coalition that will democratically host the current Unity Party government because of its dismal performance over the last 2 years.
Cool. We'll talk about the performance of the Unity Party. Now, you went to court, I understand, after your party was evicted. I understand you made some complaint to the LMP authorities. You indicated that a vehicle was missing, was taken away along with other items. What's the status of that now? Have you gotten redress?
No, so if you follow the legal battles for the CDC former headquarters that was maliciously demolished by the Unity Party government, and that saw massive looting of our headquarters, that saw the illegal demolition of structures that have been built over 20 years, and you saw the callousness, the travesty of justice, because even as those demolitions, those destructions were taking place, there is a pending appeal at the Supreme Court. So that eviction, demolition should not have happened. But we have said the Unity Party continues to interfere with the judicial processes of the country. The Unity Party continues to undermine the rule of law. And the Unity Party is actually eliciting a violent response from the CDC so as to provide an alibi or to provide some narrative to say, oh, the Unity Party should have done X, Y, Z, but the CDC as an opposition was disrupted. And in our rebranding, reconsolidation process, we have refused deliberately to take the bait of the ruling Unity Party because we feel they should feel on the basis of their own.
Mr. Chair, I don't want us to go off tangent. I asked the question: what have you've gotten any sort of redress from the police? Because I understand you wrote the police indicating that a vehicle was taken away from your party headquarters.
We have not gotten redress. We wrote the Minister of Justice. We have now gotten redress. Again, so we are not surprised. We are still waiting. We are going to engage the court process. But what is even more important is what happened on August 22nd should not have happened. Should not have happened. There should have been no invasion. It should not have happened because
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, that's a spilled milk now. It's already happened. Let me turn to my colleague. I'm sure Ed Famula, he asked a question, one or two questions to ask, and then I come back to you.
Yeah. So, Mr. Chairman, you as a lawyer, when you bring the judiciary on a public disrepute that the current governing government has interfered with the judiciary process, then I think there are some issues that we need to probably look at. Now, on the issue of the eviction of your headquarters, I know there was a citation issued by the court that you turn the property over or so. If you claim that at that time the matter was before the Supreme Court had the authority to put in for a prohibition on the process to stop that entire process from ongoing. But if the court did not allow that to happen, don't you see it that the court actually thought that you were in the wrong?
Well, what we say, we're talking about due process. Due process is the fundamental basis of Liberian law. We think the fact that we have a pending appeal at the Supreme Court, which should have served as a stay. And so we think it's judicial interference. And remind you, around the time the eviction and the demolition that was taking place, the judicial was in transition. A new Chief Justice had just been appointed, and we made all efforts. We filed papers before the Justice in Chamber. We think the process was interfered with, and clearly it undermined and continues to undermine the rule of law. Because even granted it was an eviction, you all witnessed the form and manner in which the eviction happened. The police was heavily deployed as if the government was going to war. They heavily deployed at 1 a.m. and 12 midnight, and then you saw live the looting of properties of the CDC. You saw the uprooting of the sycamore tree. That could not have been an eviction. You saw the malice. You saw the malice in the process. That could have been the landlord trying to uproot the sycamore tree. Uprooting the sycamore tree was a sign of political vengeance against the CDC, and that could not have been executed by our landlord. No, definitely that was a political act of the government. That was a political act of the government. It's a political vengeance against the CDC. Uprooting the sycamore tree was not a judicial process. No. And we are telling you, we are calling all of you, follow up the case. Because we cited constitutional provisions that have been violated by that act. And we have not seen, the independent investigative journalist community actually following up. Does the CDC have an appeal at the Supreme Court? Can you have an appeal at the Supreme Court and still go ahead to do an eviction? No. No.
Okay.
You cannot.
Mr. Chair, you answered the question already. Are you listening to the Nighttime Heat right here on Prime FM 105.5? Our guest here is the chair of the former ruling Congress of Democratic Change, Antonin Alor Janga Ko is our chair. Now, Mr. Chair, let's talk about your latest effort now. You're trying to put up a new structure. Just recently, you did a groundbreaking and you brought thousands of the people together. What's the status of the process now of the construction? How much you've raised so far?
Well, we want again use this opportunity on the behalf of His Excellency President George Manuel Weah, political leader of the CDC, to extend heartfelt thanks and appreciation to tens of thousands of our members who turned out on October 18 for a successful groundbreaking for the construction of our new party headquarters. And we are pleased to report to our partisans, stakeholders, well-wishers, as well as the general Liberian people who support the CDC, even in private, even in quietude, that the CDC party headquarters construction project is on track, and the various timelines for deliverables that have been put in place. Though the project is on course, and there's no need for anybody to have any concern, as the project is on track and will be completed in time. We want to use this opportunity to thank, Councillor J. Funati Kofa, the chairman of the construction committee, his entire team, Senator Nathaniel Fallow Mageo, who is the co-chairman of this important committee, and all hard-working members of the team. We want to thank them for the successful organization of that program, and want to say thanks to them on behalf of our hundreds of thousands of our partisans and members, that we have complete confidence in their ability to deliver on this important project.
You haven't told us yet, Mr. Chairman, as to how much was raised.
No, so I'm not in a position to speak on that. That's a committee matter. I'm not in a position to speak on that.
In addition to that, Mr. Chair, there's speculations that the former president is trying to receive some contributions from his colleagues across the globe to help with the party headquarters. How factual is that?
No, I don't think that is factual, because under Liberian laws, you cannot receive political donation from foreign agents. So that information is far from the truth.
But that will be done under the cover of darkness. You don't have to broadcast it like receiving money from maybe.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We are putting in place a fundraising initiated Liberian people, our members, who are more than 1 million. Even if they contribute, the project costs around 1 million. So we have, millions of members all around the country in the diaspora, and we have the capacity to raise the necessary funds. We do not need any foreign actors or foreign agents to contribute to the construction of our national headquarters.
Okay, so viewers who wanted to share this show, we have on the program the chairman of the former ruling coalition for democratic change, Janga Ko Anton Nalo. He's our guest here for an hour. Please share the show. Again, we are streaming live on Prime FM Arovia 105.5. Also, we are streaming live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. That's the Nighttime Heat Facebook page and the Nighttime Heat YouTube channel. This program is being relayed by other stations in rural Liberia. Now, there's this speculation, Mr. Chair, about the health condition for the former president, George Weah, that report that he's currently in Ghana undergoing treatment. How factual is this, sir?
His Excellency President George Manuel Weah, political leader of the CDC, former president of the Republic of Liberia, is well, he's live and kicking. He has no medical issues to report. And we want to assure the Liberian people and citizens that you can go to bed and sleep. Your leader is well, he's alive. Don't be carried away by the empty propaganda of the lies and innuendos. The former president is very well. He has no medical issues that should concern the Liberian people and our members. We want to show you that your leader is well. He's physically fit. He's very, very stable in his health. So do not be carried away by the empty propaganda of the lies and innuendos.
Okay. All right. So the party is strategizing, like you said. You're trying to rebrand. Have you all, including former President Weah and the rest of you, really sat down to determine reasons for the defeat of the party? Have you determined that? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, so every political party, every political institution that goes to a national elections, and we lost by a very thin margin. Maybe maybe we didn't even lost the elections because the margin is within the statistical margin of error. It's possible that if we have pursued, other remedial action, took advantage of the complaint process, and maybe we would have, won the elections. But in the wisdom of His Excellency, President George Manuel, we are being the patriot he is. He thought the CDC that should concede even before the announcement of the final result. And so, we after the elections, the president had almost a month-long section. We had a month-long section doing a SWOT analysis of the CDC, taking stock of where we went wrong and getting feedback from our partisans. And all of those information gathered is being used as the raw material for the current resurgence of the CDC, for the current new CDC. It's a feedback, is a product of all of the information, the pieces of advice we got from the people doing those month-long consolidated sections that His Excellency President Weah and the National Executive Committee of the party conducted.
And I want to believe, Mr. Chair, I want to believe that bulk of the people point to complacency. Is it so?
Well, losing an election is a combination of factors. We think one of those factors were a lot of lies, propaganda, and innuendos that were peddled by our political opposition. And we saw a grand national and international conspiracy against the CDC government that peddled lies against the CDC government that eventually led to our narrow defeat. But being a patriotic, democratic, as the president is, as President Weah is, he thought he didn't need to, and given the history of the country political history, that characterized by violence and everything, he thought he didn't want to invite any situation that will have retrogressed the country. And that's why even before the final announcement, he considered. And of pure democracy, integrity, a clear demonstration that he's a democracy icon, a beacon of hope for the Liberian people, a beacon of hope for the people of Africa. And he has demonstrated that he's a leader that can be looked at as a shining example of an exemplary leader anywhere in the world.
Okay, so before my colleague can come in, like you said, the party is now rebranding and trying to re-strategize. It's been reported that part of your re-strategizing is to drop the former First Lady and former Vice President Joe Howard Taylor, dropped her in 2029, and you are currently in discussion with Nima County Senator Kogar, so as to go along with former President Weah on the ticket. How factual is that?
Well, what I can tell you is the CDC, as a robust national political grassroots movement, is in talks with all sectors of the Liberian political landscape, and there have been no decision made on removing the former vice president or keeping her. That decision would be, as a result of the outcome of various consultations by His Excellency President Weah, which is premature to begin to discuss at this particular point in time. So what we can assure you is that the president remains the president, the former President Weah and the former Vice President Joe Howard Taylor have a very good relationship. You saw her present at the CDC, groundbreaking ceremony. You saw the body language, and so there's a very good relationship, and we are building on those relationships. The consultations continue, so there should be no speculation, no false speculation, false narrative should be.
Okay, so what's about the relationship? Former President we are trying to cultivate with with Senator Koga.
No, so like I said, the CDC as a robust national political movement, we discuss, we converse, we talk to various political actors, including Senator Koga and other people who want to talk to the CDC. The CDC is open, and we are an objective political party that are open to suggestions, open to collaborations. But to begin to make assumptions about who's going to be running mate to President Weah 2029 is premature, and people should not begin to focus on that.
Okay. Yes, let me ask my friend George Kennedy, one of the panelists, to pose his question quickly.
Thank you, Chairman Cole. Mine is just simple. Where is your Senate bearer? I mean, the former president of Liberia right now.
So our Senate bearer is out of the country. He's on a routine visit outside of the country. Yeah.
So, which country?
Well, I don't think it's important for me to disclose the country, but he's out of the country. He's on a routine visit outside of Liberia, and he's not on a medical trip. The president is live, well, and kicking. There are no medical issues to report.
Okay.
Yes. So, Chairman Cole, my second question to you will be: I listened to you clearly saying that CDC has millions of partisans across the country, but historically over time, what we see in the voting pattern in Liberia, CDC has never crossed 35% during the first round of elections, which shows that about almost 60 to 70% of the population at that voting age don't think that President Weah is their leader or can be their leader or so forth. So what are you guys doing now? What is the new idea that CDC is bringing on board that she has not done over the past 18 years to be able to make sure that the large number of the voting populace that do not believe in President Weah can bring them on board? Because what I'm seeing from you guys is this whole complacency and thinking that because you have people from, I'm not trying to downgrade that aspect of our country, from the slum area, West Point, Newtown, or other places, when they galvanize, bring themselves together, you think that that's the country. And you guys keep growing up with this thing that, he's the populist kid and he's this and that. But the records, the data have not shown that. What are you guys doing now to be able to bring other people on board so that you actually do the FAO movement for 2029?
Okay, first, let me get through a question to you. Where are you getting that data from? That 35% number, which data are you quoting?
From the Elections Commission.
Which election? Which election?
The results are 2005, 2011, 2017. The first round votes.
No. Which data are you referring to?
National elections voting
results.
Which year?
2005. The first round.
Why would you be using 2005 data?
2011.
No, I'm getting
why would you be using 2011 data?
Because I'm giving you statistics.
Why would you be using 2017 data?
No, because you said here that CDC have millions of people out there.
Edwin, you need to answer. Why would you be using 2017 data? You should be using 2023. No, you should be using 2023 data that had a CDC around 44%. Yeah.
No, that was during the second round. I'm talking about first round election.
No, the first round. The first round was around 44%.
The reason for that Chief.
That'd be empirical.
The reason for that because you're the ruling establishment. And we know, and we also know how much money you pump into that particular process. So I'm saying that now you're in opposition. So let's go back to the time you're in opposition to now.
So you gotta be factual with the data. So because if you lay a flawed, foundation and all of the
because I excluded
you need to use the latest election statistics that show that the first one the first round numbers of the CDC was around almost 45%. That's why.
But the reason for that is that I just said it's really astonishing.
I just want for us to correct that. It's still less than 50%, but it was around 45%, right? And so,
Yeah,
so that is a demonstration that the CDC has grown incrementally from 2005 to 2011, from 2011 to 2017, from 2017 to 2023. If you do a graph, if you graph that you see, it'll be a moving curve that shows consolidation of the grassroots support of the CDC. And so if you see the margin by which the CDC lost the election, it's a clear testimony that the CDC remains a very popular national political party, even in the midst of one of the propaganda and innuendos that characterize the campaign against the CDC. The CDC remains very, very, very robust, very popular, losing the election by less than 1%, which is within the margin of error statistically.
Okay, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat right here on Prime FM 105.5. Again, listeners, kindly share the show. I wanted to share what we have tonight. The chairman of the former ruling CDC administration, the chair of the party is Anthony Lowell Janga Core. Kindly share the show. This show is also being relayed by other stations across Monrovia. Now, Mr. Chair, you said that the efforts are being made. Let me put it that way, to bring the CDC back to power. Now, just be clear to have us informed, to have your listeners informed. On what basis does the CDC want to come back to power? On what basis?
Because the CDC needs to come back to power because of all of the progressive policies that the CDC executed over 6 years, from 2018 to 2023. Because you saw the progressive policy, education, healthcare, infrastructure, provision of social services. And our successor, the Unity Party government, is struggling to fit in the big shoes that the CDC left behind. It's struggling.
Okay.
And so they are governing by trial and error. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I'm coming. Can you be specific to tell our listeners and our viewers about the big shoes that the Unity Party is struggling to wear or to fit? Because according to you, you had a lot of good policies and that you initiated that you carry out and you were able to transform the lives and to transform the country. Can you be specific as to some of the good things that you did while you were in office?
So we did a free public university education. We constructed model high schools around the country. We did massive infrastructure development in roads. We constructed several public buildings, MPA, LPRC, NUCA, Maritime, and the 14 military hospital, and several other structures all around the country. We did strategic intervention in roads. We are talking about it takes you less time to read the Zwedru. It's because of the roads construction that we did in Nima County. Because Nima County is a corridor that you have to confront before you get to Grand Jide. So those are all the things we introduced. We created a national payroll. The Unity Party ran the country for 12 years with our national payroll. We sent for medical doctors abroad to specialize. So our successes are just tremendous. We restructure the wage scale of the University of Liberia, increasing the wages and salaries of our instructors and professors. And we gave free WACs that took WACs attendance of students for around 20,000 to more than 50,000 before we left office. So these are, monumental development that the Unity Party government, which we view as an elitist government, a government of police that does not believe in the downtrodden, a government that believe in trampling on the rights of the downtrodden of our people, as evidenced by the clampdown you see in various communities, as evidenced by the arbitrary actions of the Liberian National Police. And so,
Mr. Chair, you just told us about the positives. Now, on the downside, Mr. Chair, you agreed with me that you also initiated a policy that affected nearly everyone, including the nurses, the doctors, the harmonization policy. They affected our people. You also agree with me that not much you did in terms of rule of law. You also agree with me that not much you did in terms of providing adequate basic social services. Do you agree or you don't agree?
Eradication of drugs.
No, so we did a lot on the rule of law. We did like I said, the issue of harmonization. The issue of harmonization was correcting the 12 years errors of the Unity Party, because to govern the country for 12 years without a national period was a disgrace, was a national disgrace, and we have to tackle that.
Let me come in there. Mr. Chair, what informed your decision to affect the harmonization policy?
Because there was a disjointed national payroll regime across the government. You have multiple payrolls across the government. The payroll of the government was not auditable. We had to assemble the payroll from scratch, consolidated, combine pays and everything, and created one national payroll scheme. One employee of the government of Liberia, one pay, and started, deducting the proper social security contribution that were remitted to the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation. So the harmonization, the gains of harmonization is so monumental, it is so revolutionary. The current government does not have it cannot be reversed, because it was the right thing. It cannot be reversed.
But this policy, Mr. Chair,
it was the right thing.
Mr. Chair, I'm sure you agree that this policy was part of reason why you lost the election, when nurses were saying you harmonize my salary, I'll harmonize your vote. You think you think it was you did a wrong calculation there?
No, so you see, sometimes in leadership, you have to make the hard decisions. You do not have to use elections in every case as the only yardstick. You do what is right for the country. You do what is right by the country. So that you could lose election because of a decision. Maybe part of the reason we lost election is harmonization. But harmonization, as has been demonstrated by the fact that the current government has not undone it in 2 years, is a clear testimony that harmonization was right.
Okay.
It cannot be done, because if it was the wrong national policy, it would have been one of the first things that the president would have reversed by even using an executive order. But because the harmonization was a systematic process of creating a national payroll regime that had pay grades, that put employees in various categories, that make sure you harmonize salaries. A sub judge is a secretary, and another secretary, sub judge, and the other secretary should be making the same amount. That is the definition of harmonization. Taking people, some in the security services that are making low wages and bringing them up. Even people in the health sector were taking up. Doctors, nurses were taking up. But it was, unfortunately, maybe we had issue with propaganda. Our propaganda mechanisms to have properly communicated harmonization was not the best. But the communication for harmonization will be done by this government. Because if the government cannot undo harmonization, it will be a testament that the national harmonization policy was a national policy that needed to happen. You know, the 12 year, the Unity Party kick it down the road. Kick it down the road because you cannot have a government with multiple payroll regimes. No.
Okay.
That was
All right, Mr. Chair.
unacceptable. And so the
Okay,
payroll
Mr. Chair.
regime
Let's take this question quickly. I'm sure you answered that question. Let's take this question from Mr. Moses Sandy. I'm sure one of our panelists who's residing in the U.S. Let's take this question from him quickly. Mr. Sandy, go right ahead and welcome.
Thank you so much, Sobot. I really don't have a question for the chairman, but I've been reading, and I hope I'm not taking the chairman off track. But I've been reading a couple of claims regarding the former president's health. Prior to coming to the show, I was watching the video, and there was this report that the former president is currently in Ghana undergoing medical treatment as a result of reported kidney failure. I know that the former president's health is our former leader. I just want if the chairman has any background information on this situation, if he could just speak to that briefly.
I think he addressed that already.
Yeah, that's credible.
He addressed that already.
There's no iota. There's no iota. Moses, thank you for that question. There's no iota of truth in that. Is naked and lies and naked propaganda being spread by our detractors. Former President Weah is alive and well, physically fit, has no issue with kidney or any organs of his body. And so we're gonna show that that former president is well.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Edwin Family.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I listened to you keenly saying that the Unity Party handed to you a broken system. The payroll system was not working. But do you at any point in time remember that then your standard bearer, President Weah, was asked to grade the former government, and he graded Madam Salif performance at 85%? And that indicated that the way in which she ruled the country and she handed down to you a system that was already built. So if you come in today to tell us that the Unity Party handed you a broken system, don't you think that is a contradiction of your leader grading of President Salif leadership and what you're saying to us today?
So absolutely not. As a matter of fact, President Weah is a patriot. And so we must, even though the Unity Party governed the country for 12 years and made a lot of mistakes, they didn't take advantage of all of the opportunity the country have had with the multi international troops in Liberia, with billions and billions of dollars of international investment in the country. He had an obligation to be appreciative of what President Salih had done. And so he, he was not going to begin to besmear her, no. Because in the realm of politics, there must be some level of civility, but if we go down to the nitty-gritty of the issue, we will tell you that the Unity Party, I challenge them now, there was no national payroll. They cannot show you a national payroll before we came to power. So, but if the president say, oh, President Salih did well, yes, he's been civil because we are in a democracy. If whatever system we inherited was not okay, we have to work and we have to start from where they left it off. Contrary to the kind of narrative they are trying to go with and trying to pretend that they didn't inherit anything good from the CDC. But as you see, as it's been evidenced by all their action, they are working, executing our contracts that we already done, using funds that we are already secure, implementing our policy, like we said, harmonization that they used to come to power. They have now reversed harmonization for 2 years. That is a testament that policy is a national policy that is ironclad, that was rational, that is nationalistic, and so it does not need to be. It was not a political harmonization. Was not a political process. It was a technical process that needed to happen.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chair, we will be opening the line shortly because I'm sure you have to go out by 9:20 or 9:25. But let me ask you, 2 years down the road of the ruling Unity Party, Mr. Chair, what do you see has changed in the 2 years of 2 years running of the country by Unity Party? What do you see has changed?
Well, I see a lot of beatings by the police. Police have gotten emboldened. They are violating the rights of citizens. Some of the things that are happening, they even happen on Madam Salif. They didn't happen on the CDC says yes. And going to Kinjal, killing people. The police have had a lot of incidents of shooting and killing citizens. That should not be happening in our democracy. And the Unity Party government has apparently gone back to violation the procurement and concession laws of the country. See, they almost have $1 billion contract roads that they're trying to award without a national procurement process. See, they tried the botched procurement process for the other machines, and you see all of the violations taking place. And so you can better see that the Unity Party is trying to mortgage the country. When the Unity Party governed the country for 12 years, it was reported by credible international reports that there was 68 concessions negotiated signed by the Unity Party government, and only 2 of those concessions met the minimum requirements of for Liberian law. And we are trying to see, you heard about the Oranto deal that is on the floor now.
Mr. Chair, I asked you the question, what do you think has changed? I want you to be specific.
I told you what has changed. What has changed? Rights are being eroded. Freedoms are being trampled upon. The rule of law is on threat. That's what I've seen change. That's the only change I've seen. That's in the negative direction. In the political marketing. A polarized political climate is being created. When last, even during the days of the Chewy Party, you didn't see the kind of malicious destruction of the headquarters of the major opposition. The Chewy Party didn't do it. President Tubman didn't do it. President Doe didn't do it. President Taylor didn't do it. President Eden Johnson said he didn't do it. But this current Unity Party has embarked upon a systematic campaign of trying to erode the democratic gains this country has made. And that's why we see have changed. And we must raise our voices to protect our democracy that is young.
Mr. Chair, you agree that the government didn't sanction the demolition of the political party? That was not the government's order.
They didn't sanction. The government carried out. You say sanction. You're talking about the government. The government physically participated in the destruction and demolition. You saw government actors looting. I'm telling you, a vehicle was looted from the headquarters up to today. The government cannot account for it. And you saying the government didn't sanction? We're not talking about sanction. We're talking about government direct participation. Total abuse of power. Total abuse, interference with the judiciary. And you saying the government didn't sanction? We're not talking about sanction.
Okay, let's move forward. Let's move forward.
Government agents directly participated, and you saw them on video looting. I'm telling you, a vehicle was looted, taking a photo from the headquarters. That vehicle cannot be accounted for today.
Mr. George, you saw government agent looting the CDC headquarters?
Of course.
So Mr. George saw government agents looting your headquarters?
Yeah, you didn't see that. You didn't see the police officer taking the hair. You didn't see that. You didn't hear that those officers were reprimanded or something.
So Attorney General Cole, chairman of the CDC, you are a lawyer. Tell me, when the court issue evasion orders, how it will be carried out under our laws? Who's supposed to?
You tell me. When you say you tell me, was that a legal evasion order? Why evasion order calls for looting? Why evasion order calls for? So listen, gentlemen. We are in court for this. We are in court for this property. This is a property we developed for 20 years. and we are going to quote on specific performance. That is what invoking our right to our first refusal that have been granted us. We developed this property. We invested millions of dollars in developing this property, and we are in court at the Supreme Court as we speak. As we speak, the case is still at the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but Chairman, your right as a first refusal in no way obligate the owner of the property to sell the property to you.
No, so
You
that's why.
can keep sell it or not sell it.
No, listen. We are not litigating this matter here on this show. I'm just
We
giving
know
you,
that. No,
I'm telling you that this case is pending.
Because if I have you are occupying it, you have fine right of refusal if I want to sell it. But if I don't want to sell it, I have right to tell you, say, leave my property.
No, we are.
And yes, sir.
We are not litigating this matter here. I'm just giving you the facts. You can go what you need to do, what you need to do, and Sabah, what you need to do is check the Supreme Court. If there's a pending appeal at the Supreme Court,
Okay.
check it out. There's an abuse of the judicial process. That's what we're saying. We're not going to litigate this matter on this show. We're just giving you the factual information. Under Article 21 of the Liberian Constitution, when an appeal is pending before the Supreme Court, you cannot go and enforce judgment. But if you also say you want to abuse the judicial process,
prohibition. If the court does not put a prohibition on the process, you cannot blame the owner of the property from losing you out of the property.
It's not the owner of the property that was taking here for the
in fact, he said that he had a builder and he didn't want any structure of the city to be on his property.
Edwin,
yeah,
it was not the owner of the property you saw looting. So you cannot put that on the owner of the property. No, we are saying the government took seize of the matter. The government took ownership of the matter.
The government to access the sheriff to issue out the property.
And you saw how they assisted the sheriff. And in the process, our vehicle already left. In the process, the second motion was not looted. In the process, the person of the has been looted. So that's the way to assist the sheriff. It left with the public to judge.
Mr. Chair, that passed now. Let me bring you back to the question I asked you. We're about to open the lines briefly before you can go. I asked you whether in the 2 years of the Unity Party, you said absolutely nothing changed. Let me.
No, somebody said nothing changed.
You said nothing positive change. There's still violation of fundamental rights occupied. Let me read this to you. Mr. Chair, let me read this to you. In the 2 years of the Ruling Unity Party,
where are you reading from? Somebody, you reading from where?
I'm reading from my notes that I have.
But why are you reading from your notes? Why are you reading? You don't need to read. Someone don't. I thought you're trying to read a report. I thought you're trying to read something that will contradict my opinion.
Mr. Chair, I'm reading something that I'm reading something.
Don't read, just speak.
Okay, I'm reading something that we want to. Mr. Chair, in the 2 years of the Ruling Unity Party, I'm not reading. In the 2 years of the Ruling Unity Party, we see a rebranded international image of the country. Today, as we speak, we are now chairing committees to impose sanctions on other countries. Today, as we speak, the country is occupying a permanent seat at the UN. Today, as we speak, Mr. Chair, I wanted to respond to this. Today, as we speak, unlike some years back, a few years back, where there was this noise about rice and all of that, that's not happening anymore. The rice price is now stable.
And coming down.
Stable. There's absolutely no monopoly anymore. Monopoly has been broken. As we speak, Powerborne water, it's available and affordable as well. As we speak, Mr. Chair,
You can go to the southeast.
and the electricity is current. I mean, I know in your own home you've seen that you're having experience where the current went off and came on, unlike some previous years. As we speak, Mr. Chair, I know you are aware you got your own vehicle, petroleum products consistent on the market and available as well. I want you to just respond to that. If
At lower price than your time.
Okay, so again, I didn't know you are government spokesman. You invited me to your show because you are propagandist. Because that's why I was asking you, where are you reading from? Are you let me deal with the issue of Liberia seat at the UN Security Council. That seat was already secured by the CDC government, and you know it. That seat was secure. That seat was secure. We have commitment from the African Union bloc at the Security Council. That seat of Liberia was secure under the CDC government, and it's quite disingenuous, and it's bad politics for the current government not to give credit to the CDC government for securing that seat.
Okay, move forward.
You see, that's what we see is disingenuous.
The issue of monopoly now. Speak to the issue of the availability of the country's stable food.
When we took over, I don't know what time are you talking about, but we know rice was sold in for $13 under the CDC government for almost 4 of the 5 years. Rice in Liberia was being sold for $13. Rice in Liberia today is not $13. So I don't know what you're talking about. Because rice in Liberia under the CDC was being sold for $13 US for today is $15. So I don't know if $13 and $15, which one is higher? I don't know which one is higher, Saba. $13 and $15, which one higher?
$15 is higher, but speak to the issue of petroleum. I'll speak to the issue of petroleum.
Even petroleum, there are 1 or 2 times where there were issues, but those issues were temporary, and until the United Party can run its full course to see if there are global shocks. Of course, the United Party will not have control over global shocks.
Okay.
We have COVID, and you saw how CDC government had 2 years of COVID and still kept the country stable. Civil servants were sitting home and taking pay. And so we don't see anything strange that happened. The issue of international image and all that, visa. The issue of visa is meaningless to the ordinary Liberian. So the government can try to celebrate, but that is actually meaningless because it has zero impact on 99% of the population. Zero impact on 99%.
Mr. Chair, let me just
zero impact on 99% of the population. So we should not be celebrating that. We should not be celebrating those are cosmetic achievements that are being celebrated. On the issue of the role pliability, we started all of these efforts. Okay,
so Mr. Chair, let me take you up to 90 days. Mr. Chair, let me take a few calls quickly.
Stability of electricity. Of course, for 6 years, we made massive intervention in the electricity sector. And you can speak to the current managing director of the LDC because he was then sitting at CISG in Cote d'Ivoire. Massive investment in Bikano.
Okay.
The power station that was built on the city, we want to the commission. So all of these things were done. The CISG line was when we took over, I think it was around 20-25%. We brought it to almost 95% before we left office. So we laid the foundation.
Okay. Of course, Mr. Chair. Before you go, I'm sure by 9:30 you should be leaving. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening to panel.
Yes, sir.
My name is United Party Intellectual So let me start. We'll begin with these people are not noted for telling truth. Once we begin with heavy you first, that only Ruba can get sick. But all he must they choose it to highlight that one they deal with it. Well, I want to say before I give the if they not feminist about because we know you're starting everything. Why not your way we refuse to go there? If you start something, even if you not eating, why you refuse to go? So tell you say somewhere will come back, not by more, but by actuality. When they people they not even realize while I go put them out. They get fear that get more talk with each other. General for God's sake. More depends on this. You are someone that will have you pay to think the think card. They don't spend needs. The money they will take out million that will need to pay. When you be in the a lot of vendors doing that's one day
Okay. All right, maybe you made a point already. Let's take another call on the line quickly. 0778 460-793. Again, 0778 460-793. Or better still, 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. Let's take this call up. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
Thank you, sir. Let me say good evening to the popular People Party chairman, Chairman Tanga. Let me say good evening to you as you as the studio. And this is the voice of Lawrence P.I. I'm the past chair for operations. In this case, I'm now using the capital control manager. And thank you for your discussions tonight. But let's be clear, right? You spoke on third issue board because two of the issues that you spoke on is raised the issue of gas prices, gas against people, right? Now, hello.
Just go ahead quickly.
Thank you. Now, gas prices, $1,000 and this regime to $700. We're paying $200 from the right to come. But as press draft, it's $200. We're paying $100 from Macari to come. As press draft, it's $700. So what is the significance of dropping or charging or gas price when the fair two? The spoke of visa extension, right? Here's the issue. How many Liberians can go at the Liberian at the U.S. embassy that will be I think that policy is good. You need to do the more at it. That policy is good there to put crap. That policy is good there to they must do it. There are people that that policy in the team, for example, if the policy has the Liberian who cannot afford go at the U.S. embassy, they have a base for statement. So why you think the U.S. embassy not granting visa?
Okay, you made a point. Let's get another call on the line quickly. 0778-460-793 or better so 0886-050507 or the alternative line 0776-540-987. The alternative line 0776-540-987. Let's take this call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Mr. William, the Kennedy, and Mr. William, the chairman. I leave you particularly and begin popular and appointment around the Kennedy. You know, Mr. John, I made the chairman. I always tell him, Mr. John, you don't always expect opposition to do ruling party work. It always, when you know, I mean, when she was in power or working itself for life with like people, so I don't know if that is fast and they suppose bring it to the public. But for some of us, we know some of the things that the government is doing. And let's make them talking about doing our time where we're in the country for technical. I see why CDC will continue to suffer because they won't take responsibility on anything. What people buying rare for 3,000 shares on them before your level power to take for buy rare for 2,400, 2,000 pounds. Then you get it in like 12 people to let. That people like millions now, you're sitting ready for $30. And that's why they give me the job. They imagine some of us. Or do you know that we go sell them? They go buy gas and begin to cook it. But you're going telling me, they're not that we should buy gas for cheaper. Then you must stop it. And one of the things of how we admire our government, when it comes to the international event, why the government is doing our country that we are not hearing any sanction because CDC, I think I'm for 1 year, 2 years,
Okay, all right, you made your point. Let me take another call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
I'm someone you calling from Kirisma.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for letting all what you are saying. What I just heard you caller saying that the CDC that lie. They lie more than the CDC. Because for Java, the Java said CDC laid the foundation of everything people are doing. They think the only thing I can know that is the police who they report what they. So if they think that they will retain power, you can only retain power from the breath of your what do you call it, from the breath of your time. Look at the 2 years. See the action the people going through. They discussing that citizen are lying and it's glaring. You seen it? Red bread, that was over 2,400. Right now, red bread is 2,700 per year. We agree. Just do what the chairman said. We had 2 years. 2 years of COVID. We maintain it. People were saying now who take it pay. You are done it. Right now you're struggling to pay people. Then you tell us that the people come back and then they come back there. That's
Okay. Okay. All right, many thanks. 07. We'll take 3 more calls and wrap it up. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793, or better still, 0886-050507. Good evening.
Yeah, this is Lamin Tuma, and I do join you from the Carwell.
Okay.
Yeah, I listen to the chair.
Yes, go ahead. Hello? Oh, it seems like he's gone off the air. Hello? Hello?
No, you say that, you know, why you say minimum, but say they are protesting for their salary. Well, another day, anytime they come in to go put them on their salary. Today, you talk about COVID over there. COVID over there, but you're not your COVID. How would you say COVID, which one was big? How would get big, bro? See, that night the money that found your enough for 300 million with it. It is but now you could get nobody quite by that. Everybody taking their pay. The increasement 2,000 for today, you coming by in power tomorrow. And I don't know how long will happen. Wait and see the total to the last. We live in the Makuna request of the Bakaya by age. The Tabi is aging more. However, we face the country here.
Okay.
The way we say as you say, everything will.
Okay, all right, you made your point. We made your point. We can keep on the line continuously. Let's get the last call on the line quickly.
The chairman, the chairman is not sincere to himself. There is same line that they doing. What I got there with it. You are telling me that you're not seeing anything tangible the government is doing? Chairman, why are you not sincere to yourself today? This is why God gets there. You don't go for the second term. All your ruling, so tricky in your home. So tricky in it.
Okay.
Now today we don't buy.
Okay, you made your point. You made a point. We're not taking calls anymore. Let the chairman respond, and then we take leave of him quickly. Mr. Chair, I'm sure you listen to some of the callers. All the callers just respond, and then we take leave of you.
Well, basically, we just want to reiterate some of the callers were partisan in their view, but we are dealing with empirical facts. Everything we are presenting, factual information that we are giving you. The issue of police brutality, the issue of extrajudicial killings under this government. You saw the issue in Kinjor, and you saw people being killed when they interact with the police. You see police harassment all over, and these things are retrogressing the country. The rule of law is under attack, and we think the government should try to do better. The government is trying to award bogus contracts and concessions for road construction. All of these things, we are calling the government to try to do the right thing, try to make sure that the Oracle or deal that people have been complaining about, they need to subject that due to thorough and rigorous scrutiny to ensure that there's value for money and benefit for the Liberian people. So on this note, I already said thank you for the invitation, and I hope to see you next time.
Oh yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedule to appear on the program tonight. We really appreciate your time. Okay, that's the chair of the former ruling CDC. That's the Congress of Democratic Change chairman, Antonin Adlaw Janga Ko. He left now. Gentlemen, very shortly we'll be calling the the acting minister of finance to set up to kick off to start the ball rolling, right, in our next discussion. What are the complexities around Liberia's road construction project using the Pavi Fort Al Associates? I think you've been listening to the deal, the concession. It's been questioned. We'll try to call the minister very shortly. We got a tape, but we want him to we'll be playing the tape and then I didn't. Okay. So we'll be asking as to how did he make the case at the Senate. Very shortly we'll be speaking of it. But in just a minute, let me hear from you relative to your takeaway from the CDC chairman.
Well, I will be very blunt. I think the chairman was speaking as a politician. In most of his response, I don't think he was sincere to the discourse, because he tried to actually portray certain things. Like most of the callers said to him, and he tried to blend these color as partisans, irrespective of whether they are partisans or not, but these are Liberians, and he's speaking from the factual point of what has happened in the past 2 years. He also tried to attribute that everything that is now happening is the foundation that the CDC laid, but he failed to attribute that everything that they did was a foundation that the Unity Party government laid for them, including the Vanguard to whatever road that was built to Ganta or so forth. And again, he tried to talk about the issue of police brutality. You and I were right here. We were not in other countries. We saw the way the police responded to issues here. We heard about the killings of auditors. Those issues were not investigated. At one point in time, the leader of the country even went on his pulpit and said that these people were doing something in their vehicle on Broad Street, and in fact even telling people to put CCTV camera in their homes and all this kind of thing. So these things are not new to us. At least this government is trying to set the path, because right now what we're suffering from, it is the trajectory at which the country went under the past 6 years, that you now have to pick up from there and then go on flat plane so that you get to where you want to get. He tried to disprove the fact about the international image that we're building. In fact, even saying that it was the CDC that got the seat. No, that was not true.
Okay, let hold you there and talk to Moses quickly. Maybe Moses has his own takeaway. Moses, welcome to the program once again.
Thank you, Saba. And let me say hi to Mr. Famula and Mr. Kennedy. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys today. Look, and honestly speaking, I think the CDC chairman was being political. And many of you know me, I say the truth. While it is true that there are significant challenges in Liberia, we can also applaud the current administration for the level of progress being made in the country. Let's look at road connectivity. I do not live in Liberia, you live there. The level at which people are traveling in our country never existed in the last 6 years. People leave Monrovia to go to Dredge Road, in less than 2-3 days, they can go and come right back. When Mr. Weir was president, people literally traveled throughout the coast. So I think the chairman was extremely political. Most of the things that you talk about, he appears to be living in a world of utopia, the dream world. I don't think he was being honest. One thing that I can agree with him on is that, and I've consistently told people, one of the foremost challenges of this administration is failure to adhere to the rule of law. That's a serious problem of this administration. That's a serious problem. That was a serious problem of the George Weah administration. So comparatively, the two administrations are on the same level. When it comes to the issue of graft, corruption, this administration is making progress. However, there are also challenges. Take, for example, what is currently happening in Lofa. That raises serious concern when it comes to honesty. You can come and tell the people that you are honest, and when you are doing things under shady condition, then you are no different from the man that you replaced. Besides the two, corruption, rule of law, I think the Burke administration is making progress. Mr.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your input on your takeaway. Yeah, well, let's hear from you quickly, George.
When I listened to the chairman, I heard or I saw someone who is a politician trying to market his political party. But I just wonder if he's been listening or following what ordinary people, ordinary Liberians who travel in these places, the videos that they do, their own video to show what's happening. It wasn't, those things were not happening. The CDC administration withheld Social Security funds from several public institutions. They never remitted it to NASCOP. They ate those money. Some of the entities reported that the NPA reported over $9 million within that period that they never remitted. Where did the money go? Did you care about the future of these people when they get older? You didn't. Those are some of the things that defeated CDC. Today, these entities are paying the bad debt that they left behind.
Become a burden for them.
Become burden. Then you come, you say because you, in your view, the United Party peddled lies against you and defeated you when you held your own election, appointed everybody. You said the peddle falsehood against you, they defeated you, so you go in the same trend. You don't know propaganda equal to the team that you want to play with. So I see CDC struggling in the coming years. I saw dishonesty in his expose. It's sorrowful. Some of those good people who in the CDC that supported them because they believe in them, and they betrayed them yesterday, and they still going to betray them tomorrow. But 2029, political time coming, we'll see what happens.
Well, I think the only thing I can say, I don't know. When I interview the CDC people, they say I'm a Unity Party journalist. When I interview the Unity Party people, the CDC say so I really don't know where to have faith. But I think Janga Ko said it all. He indicated what they've done, and that's the reason I asked him the question as to on what basis does he think the CDC will come back. And of course, he was able to clearly state what they've done and what they think again they can do. He spoke. He's a politician.
Yeah.
He's a politician rather. So I know some of what he said. Maybe it may not be. Maybe it may be. But he spoke his mind. He said what they are trying to still re-strategize to come back to power. But again, it's just unfortunate that anytime I interviewed the city, before I spoke with Chairman Cole, the first chairman I did call was the chairman of the Unity Party. And he promised Reverend Ludo Tabe, he promised that he would have called me back. Unfortunately, he didn't call me back. But again, we'll continue to pursue to see whether we can get him on this program. But I think Janga Cole spoke his mind and he spoke exactly what he thought, what he thinks are the truth. So I'm not there to question him, but I'm just hoping that, I'm happy that he came on the program to speak his mind. Let's try to speak with the acting minister of finance, Minister Myers. Quickly, let me try to see what I can get him. I'm trying to establish contact with him. Quickly. I'm hoping I can get him on the program so that we can talk about the issue that has to do with this Harvey Fort Al Associates. I think it's quite necessary. You went off. I think it's quite necessary. For us to speak with him. But let me begin with you, Edwin. I'm sure you've been following the discussion. I'm trying to get a tip when he appeared at the Senate. But you've been following. What's your takeaway from this whole private Ford Al Associates deal that the government is trying to enter?
Well, I've read all of the different instruments. I've gone through the company history and so forth. And I would speak almost like what Senator Amara Kone said. In as much as we are yearning for this development, we have to be very careful as to how we engage these companies. Now, this company called Pivot Ford is a company registered in Sierra Leone, next door to Liberia. This company has no history of doing such a major project on the private public partnership level, PPP. And when you go into it deeper, Liberia is supposed to make some level of upfront payment in the tune of $146.something million. And they are supposed to, bring the remaining money to equip the cost of the project to $360-something million. Now,
I think 364. So.
In this deal, they have not said to us where they're going to take the money from, who are their investors, and what is the interest rate that are they going to get this money on. And then they come back to us and say that they will be using some kind of mechanisms to be able to generate, the money in the form of putting tolls on these roads. Then you ask yourself, what is the traffic volume on those roads? You're talking about almost $500 million. How long is Liberia going to pay this money? You see, what is happening within the West African sub-region is that because the IMF had this whole policy now that countries are no longer given sovereign guarantee. So these solo companies are coming in the form of private partnership, trying to entangle the country into this long-term debt portfolio outside the IMF system. And sometimes if care is not taken, the host country becomes the loser. This company has no history, like I say, in taking some of these, in trying to venture into this kind of a huge project that is bringing to Liberia. And my disappointment is that our legislature, meaning the lower house, did no due diligence on this stuff. First of all, if the company is from Sierra Leone, what stops you from sending the Committee on Public Works to go to Sierra Leone and do due diligence? Because we have friends, across the border. So I've spoken to some of my colleagues out there. This company have a very bad rating even in Sierra Leone.
Bad rating?
Very bad rating. I can read some of the comments that you see from some of the citizens and some of the road that they even built. There's a street in Sierra Leone called, I think, Shaka Stevens Street or so.
Right?
Yeah.
Where they got a state house.
Yeah. Very deplorable. And something kind of, interesting to me, do you know that the concession has not even been signed, but the company has already uploaded the Liberian profile onto their company platform in the tune of 340 million. So people trying to use this country in order to be able to sell their profile. They did few work, I think, in the Gambia and so forth.
Gambia,
yeah, and in Sierra Leone. Aside from that, they have not done major project anywhere. And most of the work that they even did in Sierra Leone, they are all substance. People complaining about those things. We don't want to venture into what has happened with the God forbid, with the Igbo math and Eton stuff, where people just come and try to play around the country and take money. So our leaders have to sit critically. They need to analyze this thing and make sure that we do not make mistake. Because
okay, let me hold you there, and then we'll play the tape, the video. We got a short video clip when the acting minister appeared at the Senate, the acting minister Myers. Let's try to get the video out quickly. Let's listen to him.
Okay, but for information purposes, the public funds earlier mentioned the summary of shareholder loans. And shareholder loans doesn't necessarily mean shareholders coming up immediately with that amount of money. But they can give us some of their either through recapitalizing their shares when there's a call for cash, or they can give us some of their dividends, or they can agree to take loans that are distributed proportionally.
Is that the proposal that Eagle Mark and Keystone proposed to us when this Senate rejected it?
No, this is different.
It's different. How is it different?
Okay. Party folks have, for example, said they already have ongoing contracts. The Deputy Minister, Marco from Public Works, mentioned their work in Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Gambia. They have pending payments from these contracts. That is portion of their financing.
The combined projects in Gambia and Sierra Leone is below 100 million.
And they have
It's 50 plus 20, 70 million. Far less than what.
and they have also indicated that they also going to use
No. So don't use that to support their payment of this.
as a sum, as a part of their sources of funding. And they also indicated, and we have no reason to doubt, that they're going to also go and get financing, which you rightly mentioned, they're going to get financing from other sources. And this doesn't preclude government's ability, like the minister mentioned earlier, from even sourcing the whole amount from the same source or similar sources. But here we are. We have to stay within our debt sustainability ceiling. So that is why if you look at the early years of the project, we are not financing it from debt, but from portion of the road fund. The road fund averages.
So we are paying first. So we are the first rate taker.
Yeah.
And then we are paying first.
No.
We are not paying
We
first.
are not paying for it. That is what we bring first. We bring 10 million next year, followed by 16, and followed by 20.
And how much do they bring?
Whatever is the annual cost of the project, I have to get the millions now, but because if you look, the project timeline is there, the details can be provided. But presumably 10 million will be the early,
Okay, so you are in speech.
Yes. So I was in flight. Look, Slobo, like I said earlier, right? In as much as we're yearning for this development, there are other credible institutions out there that we can partner with. We've been dealing with most of these international companies here, the SICO, the other people, and there are other countries. Take for example, the Moroccan had this whole thing about the South, where you can take money to do development. The Islamic Bank doing the same thing right now. Ivory Coast is actually making massive use of it. These are credible institutions. It's almost like Sierra Leone is coming to take some of the local companies in Liberia and MDC, those guys who are doing the job there, to say we are about to give you $300 million contract to go and build road in Sierra Leone. It's not going to happen. So whoever is behind this thing is trying to push it, will have to make sure that the interest of this country is protected. We don't want to be in a situation like what happens with the RIA road. It's construction. Do you know that road, there was a lot of delay on it because of all kinds of stuff? Because he's never had the technical capability to build that kind of road. That's the first major project that he's ever got in this country. Now they had to go and bring in new expertise to help them build that road. That's what have even cost the deal of that road. Then what happened again? The cost of the road inflicted. Because East was here just building these small cement road or so. And then you come and give them a major highway. These people have no expertise in building any highway anywhere around the world. All of these roads that they built were just those small, like patching city roads and stuff. They have not done any project beyond $60 million. You want to come and give them $300 and almost $400 million?
Okay. Well, what's your comment on that?
I like to put myself in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know this company. I don't know their history. I tried doing today, but time could not permit me. What I'm seeing on social media, from where they say the work, most of them negative. I have not been able to do my personal
due diligence.
But I also don't think that the team that I trust, even though human being is dynamic, that will take this type of investment and bring it to the legislature when it is very questionable. So what I will say is that the legislature must do due diligence. You can pay money, you go to the Gambia, very short in West Africa here, you go to Sierra Leone and see this company where they work. If they are good, of course, it's good for us to get people from the South region to work for us if all they are good. If they are not good, we find different company. But the project is needed by the Liberian people, but it should also be done the best way that they will use the kind of best resource for the population. You got to be financially viable as an institution to talk about such capital investment. And, if we had to pay $100+ million and you had to get the balance money, we should be looking at their account. We should be looking at their investors, their shareholders. And, so I mean, I love the question some of the senators were asking. I think they were well in place. I mean, we are yearning for investment, for development, but we should get it the right way. So,
and what is even more interesting, like one of the questions I will ask, and our own people are saying, oh, the Sierra Leone government owe them some money and they have to pay the money and blah, blah. That in itself shows a lot of questions.
Yeah, sure.
What if they don't pay?
So what if the Sierra Leone government don't pay?
Our road projects will not be done.
Yeah. Of course. And then you may have already given them some money because you have to make up from payment. So then, there are just a lot of things around this whole
and
stuff.
I think, Edwin, that's the reason why. That's the reason why if you go through the social media today, people are saying that this whole deal with this private Ford associate is a paid deal.
Yeah,
because let's assume, like we're just asking, in case the people that owe them in Gambia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone, if they don't pay them, so then what happens?
Of course.
Why it is true that the Unity Party is trying to, it's really funny to leave a legacy or to achieve something. The party, the government needs to be very careful.
Yeah.
You don't just enter on a deal that will be detrimental to you, detrimental to the country, detrimental to the people, and because you think you want to do something, you want to achieve something, you just you do it in a hurry. What is wrong with sending a team to Sierra Leone?
Right.
You go and check the guys for
due diligence. Yeah.
Right, Guinea as well.
Yeah.
Even Gambia.
So when I saw this and with the noise around, is start thinking about the earlier deal for the yellow machines.
Of course, yes.
Sure.
And the president, after cries from the population or from the public, decided to send a team to review. At the end of the day, insured 85 million.
It came down to 24 or 23 million.
23
million.
million.
Yeah.
So with this public outcry, I think the president going to, maybe the executive, if all these people withdraw out,
like I say, we live in a global world, right? There are a lot of credible institutions out there, financial institutions that are even willing to undertake some of these projects. My thing is that it is not that I don't have confidence in the sub-regional or the companies in the region, but it should have the capability to do these works. Because at the end of the day, if they fail, it becomes a failure for the government and it becomes a very bad PR.
Sure.
Yeah.
So therefore, before you enter it, look, if we need $300 and some more billion to build just these corridors, if we're able to raise $140 million in 2 years' time, as we're saying from the road fund, right? The road from Medina to Ravenswood is about 30 kilometers. I don't think it should be more than $35 million. We can embark on that without even bringing any foreign parties in. Then we say, okay, the road from maybe Pearl River to Clay, it's about 27 something kilometer. We can take another 30 million. That's 60 million there. You're doing it gradually.
They actually doing 4 lanes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
irrespective of what I think the charge per kilometer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For one side.
Of course,
so where $1 million is 1 mile, technically $1 million is 1 mile on a 2-lane road. If you're doing Fully,
yeah.
It will be more than a
Yeah.
billion.
But again,
yeah.
again, my thing is that you have to look at the economic viability and what are you getting outside within that
cross-border trade. The objective is,
we know that
yeah,
the cross-border trade is also good, you know. But again, what is the volume of activity on that road? Even now, so like I said, because they are estimated, they will have no feasibility studies. They're saying that they will be able to raise almost $1 billion on that road, and this is where even Senator Amara Kone and others is cautioning them. Where are you taking your data from? Because we don't want somebody just sitting in your room and just call numbers, and then at the end of the day, the country get entangled into something that become difficult to leave from it.
Surely.
You know, then we have all of these different issues. Oh, if you don't do this, we'll do lawsuit and all kind of thing. And somebody sitting somewhere profiting from, you know, the country's resources, and then we cannot get value for money. Or they come in there and build substandard roads because they have no experience in building highways or so forth. There's nowhere within the sub-region that the guys can show that they build a major highway. I checked their website, I checked everything, there's nothing there.
Sure. So, gentlemen, finally, before we take leave, let's look at the second time extension of the submission of the fiscal year budget. I know we all follow the news and we all that have been here. I think this is second. There was a time again that the executive was to submit the budget. Unfortunately, to the legislature. Unfortunately, that didn't happen again. There is a statement to that effect. I think the president said for further consultation. So you know they've put hold on the submission of the budget. But you know, credit to seeing that it has its own message as well. Why you know the often you know extension. Let me read this. Boyka extend fiscal year budget extension. President Joseph Boyka has requested the Liberian Senate to extend the fiscal year budget for 2026 submission. The president initially had to submit the budget by October 31, 2025, but was requested an extension until November 7, 2025 to allow for additional consultation with stakeholders and external partners. Okay, so I think maybe Moses will want to wait on this. Let's try to hear from Moses quickly. What sort of message does it send? You know, especially with the extension of the national budget. There, Moses, let's hear from you.
Well, are you there? Are you there, Saba?
Yes, we are here already. We listen to you.
All right. I was following up with you with reference to the discussion we had last evening concerning the CMC and the Ministry of Public Works.
Oh, okay. We've done with that already. We are looking at the message is sent. So what sort of message is sent to the public, especially when the executive supposed to have submitted the national budget, but again asked for some extension up to the 7th of November. They should have submitted the 31st, but they didn't submit it. They are requesting for the 7th. This is second time so far that the executive has been asking for extension every time, extension from the legislature. Well, what sort of message does this send, you think?
You making reference to me?
Yeah.
I don't have much to contribute to that. But if you could just give me a few seconds to express my honest opinion, and I don't want to take you back to what you discussed earlier. I thought we're still waiting on that, but if you could just give me a few seconds, I just want to express my honest.
Okay, so we'll call you back. Let's try to discuss this quickly before, and then because we discussed that earlier. Okay, so Edwin, let me hear from you.
Yeah, so the whole process of the budget preparation thing is a lengthy work. So irrespective of, none of us here, in fact, even if you, Slobber George, just doing a budget maybe for your little organization, it's a back and forth. You need to meet with all of the stakeholders to make sure that all of their expenditure, everything is in place. Now, the budget itself is a projection, right? Meaning that government is projecting to get this amount of money from the revenue inflow within the country, and then there are also donors and other bilateral assistance that may come. So maybe some of these delay could be, the president is having some discussions out there that could yield to positive results, that those things could actually impact this current budget. So if you go and say, okay, whatever we have now, let's submit that, and then we wait maybe for the recast, maybe in June, some of those things could be delayed. So sometimes some of these discussions are the backdrop of those things. Now, I also hear that I think the government is trying to push the revenue stream to at least $1 billion or so this year or so. That's a very good projection. Now, again, government have to look at other stream of revenue coming in. You also have these different concessions that are before the legislature, that some kind of a revenue stream have to come to that have to be budgeted for. Those concessions are still pending legislative enactment. So definitely it means that if it doesn't pass and then you project it for that revenue, it becomes a deficit within our budget. So you have to be able to actually outline all of these different things. And then once you have it, technically solved, you can now present a realistic budget to say, look, based on our projection, based on everything that we have done, we think that in next fiscal year, we'll be able to generate $1 billion because of X, Y, Z or so. I think, to me, that's my, understanding of why, these delays are coming in.
Okay, let's hear from you, George.
I don't know what Mr. Famule's level of knowledge in finance or budgeting, but he's put it correctly. That's it. You see,
I'm an economics first.
Oh, I see. Thank you. You see, so the budget process is, especially when it comes to the fiscal budget process, is strenuous. What I see that the government, the economic management team trying to avoid is budget shuffle. The budget, the components, they got core revenue, and especially where the core revenue is where you show that you will get contingency revenues, pledges made, you're not too sure as well as you get it. Some of those pledges people make sometimes, or multilateral, bilateral institutions make sometimes. You have to get back to them, ask them, are you sure? Will you do this? Can we budget it? And you get the assurances before. So it is not above 8 days that they ask for the final, so from the 31st to the 7th. So it's still within a time frame. But most of the time, what happens behind the scene is when these things are going on, the team can be in consultation with the legislature, members of the legislature, the both houses, because the budget first has to go to the House of Reps before going to the Senate. So they get the Ways, Means, and Finance committees of those houses. When these things are going on, they are usually in consultation with them. What's happening? What's going on? Now, once it goes there, they already got it.
The question is, this is the second time it has happened. Is there no way that, our budget can be submitted in time, that we avoid extension all of the time?
There is a way and there is no way at times. When it comes to timing, will fluctuate. It based on the activities in terms of how you acquire the revenue, this and that. Yeah. So if your revenue sources are shaking, sometimes you want to make sure it's.
We didn't see this sort of extension in the past years.
It happened.
That's the question.
It's been happening, or that's just announced.
It's been happening. No, that's not the issue of announced. If it happened, and they will announce it. But if it happened, they will have announced it.
It happened many times.
I will tell you the results of that. I will tell you the results of that. All right, because it was not properly done. So we had, in most instances, we have budget shortfall, but we're not knowing that we have budget shortfalls. All right, because even to a point where we're even crediting from donors' account to be able to even pay salaries. The donors even have to come to raise our issue. But you can no longer borrow from us or so. Because, like I said, the budget is not money sitting in the bank.
We know it's a projection.
It is a projection. So you have to be realistic to say, look, we think that this year we will generate $10 million from the MPA. The guy from MPA will have to be called and say, look, are you sure you can bring out $10 million? He said, yes. We mark it. So we put in $10 million. From RIA, we show this year we can get $5 million from RIA. RIA, give us all of your
financial information.
Your financial information, and then we'll be able to hold you by that particular XYZ. Now, sometimes even these institutions may be exact that yes, they will do it, but then there could be certain unforeseen circumstances. So therefore, now that's where we go out to the external partners who coming in with budgetary support here, the World Bank, the IMF, the other people say, okay, yeah, if there's a shortfall,
it doesn't send any wrong signal.
No, I don't think so. It's a normal budgeting process.
It's normal.
Okay, so let me get a practical comment on what we've been talking about.
What I think, I think today was actually
George Kennedy.
Today was actually a good one. The conversation with the CDC party chairman was good. At least he was able to sell his party tonight.
We're hoping that we can get a unity party.
They're still trying to keep tablet on the health condition of our former leaders, which of course we think that that's a disservice to the Liberian people. He's a human being. We all can get sick. So if there's anything that happening to him, the Liberian people need to know to be able to pray for him.
Which I differ with you strongly.
I
differ with you on that strongly.
Why?
His health condition is his privacy.
No.
It is.
No.
It is.
No.
He's not in the presidency anymore. No. He's not in the presidency anymore. If you are in presidency. Maybe if you are in the presidency.
They did become president.
Listen.
Yeah.
It happened in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
When Muhammad Buhari was
sick.
already in hospital. He was always in hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was always, because he was sick. So he was always, you fly out of the country and go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at some point in time, people felt that it became it was a private issue.
No, so the journalists in Nigeria push the government to come up, please.
Let me hold that.
You and I know.
Let me hold that.
You and I know.
That one I take over with you.
You and I know that former President Weah is a public figure.
Yeah, but his health is his privacy. His health is his privacy.
Chief.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
What you say one
you cannot be discussing the type of condition, the type of what kind of illness whatsoever that's on the media. But anything that happened to former President Weah, even you are not president.
All right, let me take Moses.
For the time he became, let me disagree with you.
Moses a party comment. Moses a party comment. I don't come to talk about health business.
I beg to differ with you. News is prominence. Prominence is news. You're talking about former president. So if anything has to do with himself, that's a major news headline.
But we heard from the chairman that the man is well. He's kicking well. So I don't see when you discuss about his health condition.
No, so what I'm saying is that except the story is not confirmed, if it is a speculation, then you cannot.
We can dwell on speculation.
We agree.
But why you guys want to talk about it? No. It's speculated. Why you guys want to talk about it? It's concerning. The speculation. It should be concerning.
Speculation, not part speculation, not part of journalism.
No, not part of journalism.
Why?
You got to be factual.
Moses, you speculate when the sources of news.
Moses, why? Start causing problem here.
Since the chairman has already spoken.
Yeah, he has already dismissed that.
Yeah, let's take it for that. We can't keep going looking for something that for now I would say doesn't exist.
You're right, Moses.
And regarding the budget, this is what I would like to say. This is one of the greatest challenges of most third world countries. I mean, you claim to be independent, you claim to be sovereign. Whenever on an annual basis in Liberia, when you prepare your budget, you're asking for budget support. Then the question is, where is your independence? Let's take it at a family level. How can Mr. Kennedy tell us that he is an independent man, but whenever he prepares his family budgets, he writes there, Mr. Sober George is going to give me $20. Where's your independence? You should be what you generate, what you earn. You should use that to sustain ourselves, and that's one of our greatest problems we have in Liberia. We all over the place asking for help. When the little help comes, we do off-budget expenditure. We take expensive trips. We pay public official salaries beyond their income, their capacity level. I mean, in a very poor country like Liberia, you pay somebody $10,000, $15,000 for literally doing nothing. No productivity. The person goes to work for 2 hours. Nobody tracks them. You go to government offices, you don't even have laptops. Most of the institutions are literally dead. And we pay people huge salaries. So, as a country, we need to take a closer look at
I didn't learn.
what our priorities
I
are.
didn't learn when Moses
Let me
talked.
start
Wait.
there.
Wow, Moses, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
I was in flight.
no, I was in flight until
You see, so
he hijacked me because I spoke about President Weah.
Yeah, let's forget about President Weah.
You hijacked me.
You're kissing me again.
Let's forget about President Weah.
So you know,
Mama, your party come back, please.
yeah. So you know, it is just normal everywhere in the world, even the greatest country in the world. I remember the other day, even the journalists had to even pick up some stuff behind the current president here that he had a dark spot, even his feet were all swollen. It became a serious concern.
President Trump. You mean?
Yeah, of course. Now, but you know, that is it. However they want to play it. And I think on the issue of this Perfect Fort project, whatever concession is it, our legislature, media, the senators has to do a complete due diligence. You don't even have to just send the guys from your committees or so. Get Liberians, engineers. Let it go into Sierra Leone and do due diligence.
Okay, let hold you there. Yeah.
I agree with Mr. Fambule. I think when they say, when they always say we are the people's deputies. Deputy for the people right now. That's the time. What's Representative Sumomawa, Representative Member Bridge Spencer? Yeah, please deputy for the people properly on this thing.
Yeah.
Because okay, Senator Amara Kone, Senator Imana Nukwe, Senator Papla, or every one of you, please do the right thing, because once you pass this particular agreement, definitely we're going to implementation. The president will sign it.
Yeah, sure.
So please,
all right, gentlemen, let me thank you guys for your time. Before going, let's try to reference some of our viewers quickly. Abraham Swain, he said he's been watching from Chicken Soup Factory. Ophelia S. George, he's been watching from home. Pope S. Keita from Madupa Road. Nathan M. Jabade from Greenville City, Son County. Victor Mulba from Freeport. Mazo Undefeatable Gola Queen, I'm sure that's from the US. Serena Dan Johnson, didn't see from where. Gloria Boy, you passed away from the US. Ernest Johnson, didn't see from where. Daniel Tenti from Tinkers Village. Ben Jasso, didn't see from where. Phoenicia's Ginger Bar from Manukutan. Spanko and Cotti from RIA. God's Grace, Joseph Fayal, Senior, he didn't say from where. American Stepchild, didn't say from where. Solomon Sims, didn't say from where. Foley Sambula, didn't say from where. Okay, so we have to go. Thanks to all of you who've been watching and viewing as well. Thanks to the production team. Until Friday, Sabo George is my name. Have a blessed night.